A chilling crash in a St. Charles church. How the community is cleaning up after a truck drove through a wall.
And good morning. It is a fantastic start to the day. So temperature is even warmer than yesterday. I'll have the numbers coming up.
That's the sirens now.
And hundreds of airstrikes in the Middle East. What we're learning this morning about Iran's attack on Israel and how leaders around the world are responding. Today in St. Louis, Weekend Edition starts right now.
This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
And right now we're focused on a live look at the Tel Aviv skyline in Israel, where just hours ago, Iran concluded a retaliatory attack against the nation. Right now, United Airlines is canceling flights to the region. Thanks so much for waking up with us this morning. I'm Travis Cummings.
And I'm Mercedes McKay. Now, both Israeli and U.S. intelligence have been anticipating this attack for about a week. Now, it comes after an Israeli airstrike destroyed Iran's consulate earlier this month. Officials say earlier this morning, more than 300 Iranian drones and missiles targeted at least 7 different cities throughout Israel. We have them mapped out for you right here. But with the help of U.S. forces, the IDF says it was able to intercept nearly all of them.
Out of more than 120 ballistic missiles, a number of individual missiles penetrated the country's territory, and the rest were intercepted.
Now, the missiles, which struck Israeli territory, caused minor damage to an airbase and left it fully operational. Crews on the ground also report a 7-year-old girl in southern Israel was severely wounded in an apparent missile strike.
And President Joe Biden issued a statement following that attack, reaffirming his, quote, ironclad commitment to Israel. He says later today he'll meet with other G7 leaders to coordinate a diplomatic response. Iran also issued a statement following those attacks. Now, in a post to social media platform X, Iran's UN mission claimed responsibility for this. It also stated it considers the conflict to be concluded, adding that further retaliation from Israel and its allies will be met with a severe response.
Now, 5 on your side will continue to bring you the latest developments out of the Middle East, even when we're off the air. You can always find updates on KSTK.com and the 5+ app.
All right, but for now, we want to take a look at your morning forecast. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is here with us. And yesterday we had a fabulous day.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. Hoping that'll come back for us, Jim.
I know. Great to see you both.
Yeah.
I've been here filling in for Tracy in the morning, but not with both. So
I know.
Dynamic
you guys
duo.
are fantastic.
Did they tell you about us?
Yeah, great stuff. All great stuff. And Scotty got to be here yesterday. But yeah, it's so beautiful. You know, I had to check the average high. So yesterday was 82. The average high for this time of year doesn't get to 82 until the end of May. And then so today, 87. And that doesn't happen until really the start of summer. So it's summer-like temperatures out there as we get into today. Now this morning we are in the 60s, a couple of the cooler spots in the 50s, but a fantastic sunrise. And then Weldon Spring to Highland, Illinois, to Hillsboro and Cuba, Missouri. It is just clear. And there's downtown St. Louis. The arch looks fantastic. 64 degrees, south-southwest wind at 7 miles an hour. And you notice the humidity levels, they're very low. We don't really have that return flow of moisture until we get into Monday. And that's when the storm chances begin here, and then they ramp up on Tuesday. But don't expect that today. It's a beautiful day out there. Temperatures in the 50s in the cooler spots and about 67 in Chesterfield. And the wind, calm in some spots and others a little bit breezy. But we'll take a look at that thunderstorm chance coming up in just a bit.
All right, Jim, thank you for that first look. Right now, one church in St. Charles is holding its Sunday service online, and that follows a harrowing crash yesterday afternoon.
A truck smashed through a wall, severely damaging the chapel. 5 on your side's Annie Crawl was the first reporter on the scene and brings us a closer look at the damage.
We were the first news crew on scene just about 30 minutes after the crash happened. As you can see over my shoulder, construction crews now working on filling up the giant hole left behind by seemingly a large pickup truck that was yellow, and police and fire crews trying to work on making sure that building doesn't collapse and not pose a threat to the community. I spoke with Captain Kelly Hunsel with the St. Charles Fire Department as they made sure the building was safe to enter and eventually patch up with wood. for the owner. She told me that the only injury was the driver, who was taken to a local hospital for his injuries. As the investigation continues, though, St. Charles Fire says it looks like the driver was trying to avoid a different potential collision, but then unfortunately ran into the side of the Emerson Unitarian Universalist Chapel. Instead, neighbors in the area were shocked at the scene, and fire crews were just grateful it wasn't worse.
Most people think, accidents only happen when there's inclement weather, icy, rainy, things like that. But we have incidents like this every day of the year. It doesn't matter how nice or bad the weather is.
They came through the parking lot and right into our sanctuary, right over all of our chairs, and crashed into the computer even. I kind of didn't compute right away, like how devastating this really was. The first thing that went through my mind was, well, thank goodness no one it was here at the chapel.
The Emerson Unitarian Universalist Church had an open mic on Friday night with about 15 people, and they tell me they can have anywhere between 20, 30, even 40 people at service on a Sunday morning. They are expecting to have a Zoom online spiritual meeting at 10 in the morning on Sunday. Reporting in St. Charles, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
This morning, St. Louis police are investigating a shooting that left a man dead inside his car. It happened at the intersection of Page and Sarah. Police say the victim was in his car when he was shot multiple times. He died at the hospital. Right now, the victim has not been identified, and police have not released any suspect information.
Right now, lawmakers in Illinois are working to ban the sale of Delta 8 and other synthetic THC or hemp products.
They look like Fritos, right?
How this can be studied
corn
more.
chips.
Experts say
These are corn
because there are
chips.
no regulations on
And the other
consumer
contains
goods with
600
hemp,
milligrams of
those
Delta 8.
products can be made to look like chips and candy and marketed towards children. Well, moving on after that, Ingram believes there should be a pause in sales so that a committee of scientists can study the products and make sure they're safe.